It is an emergency podcast. We had to do this right away. Huge news in the NBA. Karis LeVert hits a game winner against the Denver Nuggets. Young Kobe does it again. Now, the real NBA news. Jimmy Butler, the guy we've been talking about all year, the trade has finally happened. Minnesota finally losing the Jimmy Butler headache. And where is he headed? None other than the Philadelphia 76ers. I can't believe it. I got to call Steve up. I got to get his initial reaction to this trade. How does he feel? Jimmy Butler now part of the big three. Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid in Philly. It's going to be a crazy run. Let's see what Steve thinks of the trade. Here we go.
Terrific.
Dude. Jimmy Butler to the Sixers out of nowhere.
Wow. I'm kind of still trying to wrap my head around this.
It's amazing. We always hear this when these trades happen. It's like, oh, Jimmy's going to go to Miami. You know, he's going to go somewhere. He's going to go to Houston. And then a surprise team kind of comes out of nowhere. I didn't know the Sixers were really pushing that hard to get him.
Yeah, I know that there was some discussion about it last year. You know, the brief little blurb that ESPN put out said that they've been going back and forth and having a standoff now. You know, for a while, but I'm assuming that the Bucks were just asking for the farm. You know, it appears that we're giving up a second round pick, which, you know, in most cases isn't doing much. But we are giving up Dario Saric, who I'd like a lot. We're giving up Robert Covington, who he's been a good cog for us. I think he's replaceable. Yeah, it's one of those. It wasn't even on my radar. I was kind of chuckling to myself because I can remember us talking about Jimmy Butler a couple weeks ago and me being like, man, I feel like I don't know really anything about Jimmy Butler. Everyone says he's a top 20 talent. I don't really see it. I don't ever see him play. Well, I'm going to be seeing it up close and personal now, so we'll see what he's got.
It's amazing. So the trade is, you just said it, Minnesota Timberwolves trading Jimmy Butler to the Sixers. The Sixers making the trade to Butler. They're going to have Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons alongside. Minnesota, on the other hand, is getting back Covington and Saric, second-round pick, like you said. Interesting for Minnesota because, you know, you hear all the thing. Houston was offering 4 first-round draft picks. They're not getting any first-rounders for this. Clearly, Thibodeau is a guy who does not want to go into rebuild mode. And I don't think neither does the Minnesota fan base. I mean, they've been bad for so long. They finally got a great guy in Butler. He leaves. I don't think they wanted to start over. So they're getting back 2 solid NBA players, you know, to go along those young guys there.
Yeah, they're getting 2 guys that immediately slide into the starting rotation. Dario Saric is great in a lot of aspects of the game. I mean, he can hit the three. He's great at the free throw line. He's a great defender. You know, he's a little slow. You know, he doesn't have crazy jump off the screen, explosive athleticism, but he knows the game well, plays hard. Robert Covington, you know, he's a great 3-and-D guy. He can guard almost anybody. He can hit the three. Sometimes he does go cold. You know, I like Dario way more than Covington. I'm sad to see him go. Covington, I'm kind of like, I mean, you know, again, he served a purpose, but I'm kind of like, all right, good riddance, because we just signed him for a pretty good deal last year, and ever since he re-inked the deal, it seems like he's kind of slacked off. But it'll be interesting now. I mean, we've got our own big three, right? Embiid, Simmons, and Jimmy. I imagine that our starting 5 then would be Markelle and JJ, which, you know, again, we've got one guy to spread the floor with JJ. Jimmy obviously is an offensive threat and can do it himself. You know, I think that with this move, the Sixers really got to believe in Markelle Fultz, right? I mean, he's going to be a primary minutes getter. I think they also like this young guy Landry Shamet, though, out of Wichita State. He's shown a lot this first couple weeks of the season, and I think that they're probably going to rely on him as the 6th man, unless I'm missing someone. So, yeah, having this piece of Jimmy, the one thing I've always felt about our team, like obviously Joel can get points and he's a go-to guy, but, you know, at end of games, going into a big man, it just kind of gets dicey because defenses can collapse, and I've seen it so many times where Joel's got someone on the post, and it's shot clock's winding down late in games, and it's just a convergence, and, the ball just somehow skips out and doesn't go, ends up out of bounds or ends up as a turnover, because refs are really not looking to blow the whistle at that point of the game. So to think that we have someone like Jimmy that, you can kind of basically just give him the ball, clear out his side of the floor, and let him go to work. That's a vital piece, one that I think that we've been missing.
We've been saying about the Sixers, the first couple weeks here of the season, that they've kind of come out a little bit flat, not really looking too energized. They had a nice win last night against the Hornets. Joel just went crazy. Went nuts. But you think this kind of trade here, and now they're clearly going for it. Now's the time. They're going after the Celtics, the Raptors, the Bucks. They're going for it. This kind of trade's got to energize this team.
This has to inject something into these guys. If it doesn't, check your pulse. I think Jimmy is a veteran, and he played for Tom Thibodeau, who demands, hard play night in and night out. And, again, these guys, they know how to play hard, and they're a talented bunch. But I think, as we've talked about with the lowly Washington Wizards, no veteran leadership. Now you're talking a guy, again, he's not that he's crazy old, but he could kind of be the example for these younger guys, between him and JJ. You always see JJ on the court, this season especially, coaching these guys up, kind of holding them accountable. So, now having one of these, superstar, all-star level guys to be there as well, I think that, man, it's all the pieces that we need.
Yeah.
And I think that this will take a lot of pressure off of Ben, and it'll take a lot of pressure off Joel because there's someone else that can do it. Anytime that those guys are on the bench, at least this early part of the season, there seems to just be no direction for the team. There seems to be no one kind of taking the reins. So, they can rest assured, sit on the bench that if Jimmy's in there, he's still doing his thing, and he's still kind of commanding the troops. So, I think the Celts and the Raptors are obviously still tough, as well as the Bucks. But now it's a whole different team, and I like our chances.
It's an incredible big three. It's super talented. They're all young. How do you think that the personalities are going to mesh? The Sixers guys well. We all know Jimmy's kind of past. He's Minnesota and Chicago, and really, he wanted to be the lead guy and didn't mesh so well with his teammates. How do you think it'll go in Philly? Tough to guess, but what do you think?
Tough to guess for sure. I would say that, he's got to come in knowing that things are going to kind of operate through Joel. Obviously Ben's is the floor general. I think Ben knows that he kind of makes everything happen, but it's not like he's a go-to offensive threat. It's never going to be like, oh, all right, final 2 minutes, we need a bucket, we're going to Ben. Typically it's been to Joel, but I think now, the two-man game, again, like you give it to Jimmy on let's say the left, on the left elbow, left 3-point arc, and have Joel come up and set a screen, and the other three guys kind of cleared out on the other side of the court. Ooh, good luck. That'll be dangerous. So I think that these guys, I don't necessarily know if it has to be this is X's team. I think it just has to be kind of like everyone's going to play a role. At points, Jimmy's going to be the featured guy. At points, Joel's going to be the featured guy, depending on situations, depending on who we're playing. The one thing that I was just texting to a group of friends are kind of like, oh, Raptors and Celtics are still way better, and these are like the non-Philly group. And I'm like, dude, the thing that makes us difficult is neither of those teams have anybody that can stop Joel. So he's got to be a featured guy there, whereas they've got wing guys galore that will just have to kind of defend and keep at bay. Whereas there'll be times where Joel will have tough matchups. He kind of owns Hassan Whiteside and owns Andre Drummond, but those guys will give him more of a challenge than some other teams. So maybe it's got to be Jimmy steps up that night. But I think that going in, Jimmy's got to probably think like, okay, I'm going to these guys' team. I shouldn't be going in here demanding that I'm the alpha male, but I think he's got things to
scary.
And if he does, Joel will probably. I don't know. I mean, Joel, as much as he's like, crazy active on Twitter, trolls people, talk shit. Like, he seems like a really good teammate. I think that they'll gel well. I do. I
kind of think they're going to gel well too, because I think Joel and Ben really care about basketball and they care about developing their games and they work extremely hard. And I think that's a thing that Jimmy was getting pissed about with those guys in Minnesota. For whatever reason, he did not think that they had all the talent in the world, but they weren't putting it all together. I think the young guys in Philly will be a little bit different. And I think Jimmy, he could step up and, lead by example, and it could be a good thing for those guys.
Yeah, it's a really good point. He did. He ragged on the Cat and Wiggins for, what he felt was lax play or, lacking motivation. So to your point, I don't think that there's anyone that's going to question those two guys. Hopefully it'll be a good influence on Markel. Maybe again, Markel's coming in with a bunch of young guys. They're all trying to prove themselves. Now maybe it's, he's get someone that's already proven that can maybe give him some guidance, because, there's points where Markel's out there on the court looking like he's a lost sheep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, he's got crazy athletic abilities, and he can
play,
shoot, and he can play, but it's just he hasn't been able to put it together. So hopefully, having a guy that's kind of been there, done that, can be a role model for him to a certain degree. So I mean, I think that there's plenty of things that Jimmy is going to bring to this team where he can kind of feel like he's a contributor. Again, I think with this day and age is NBA, the really good teams, it's not like they don't view it as, it's this guy's team. Like, the Warriors, it's not, it's only KD's team, it's only Steph's team. It's kind of like they've got that dynamic four. Harden and Chris Paul, you could flip a coin. Obviously Harden's MVP, but a lot of guys would kind of key off Chris Paul there too.
That's kind of the brilliance of Steph Curry, though, is he let KD come in and he kind of let KD do his thing. He wasn't, because LeBron and Wade had their issues that first year. They couldn't figure out whose team it was. And then that second year when they really got it going, Wade got hurt at the beginning of the year and LeBron kind of got to come in and do his thing, and he kind of established himself. It's my kind of team now. And Wade kind of came back and was like, okay, and he
assimilated. Yeah, and he assimilated to what LeBron was doing. But again, what has the staying power? I think the staying power at this point is kind of like you get the best guy, you get the best core of guys that you can, and you just kind of have them all on the same page. And again, that's why the Warriors have been to 4 straight finals, going to be looking like a 5th this year, and so if we can kind of continue just to have these young guys develop and have Jimmy assimilated well, I like our odds of kind of going deep into the playoffs. I obviously picked us. I picked us more as a homer pick in the over/under to go to the NBA final.
Maybe we can get the over now.
Yeah, I think we'll get the over. I mean, we're starting to find some footing. But that was a total homer pick without knowing Jimmy's coming, obviously. So now with him there, he's a serious, you look at trades, is it an upgrade? Is Jimmy an upgrade of Rocco and Dario? Absolutely. So I mean, they did what they had to do. They survived with minimal damage loss. Freaking Houston talk about giving up 4 first-rounders. That was absurd. So, yeah, man, what a way to kick off your Saturday morning, huh? I mean, 10 o'clock for me. That news hit at 9:55, and I was kind of like, what the hell? And you texted me immediately.
It was great. So I just entered the. So you on Instagram, you haven't entered the 21st century. I just got the ESPN app yesterday for the first time ever.
Did you really? You haven't had the ESPN app on your phone?
I've never had it.
Oh my God!
I'm like the biggest sports guy
I'm
ever.
getting ragged on for my lack of Instagram. That's an equal sitting there, buddy.
It's 100% terrible. But this is the first time I got do, and I looked down at my phone and I was like, what? Jimmy Butler to the Sixers. Crazy. Because I was going to call and do an emergency podcast with you after the Karis LeVert game winner last night. Karis
LeVert, Kobe who?
Young Kobe, baby. Another game winner. I can't wait for the rest of the NBA. If you guys need Karis LeVert on your team, not Jimmy, but
he'll be there next year. Don't worry, we'll get him in the offseason.
We're never giving Karis.
Isn't your whole team up for like free agency this year anyway?
Yeah, we got a lot of cap space, but they're all young. They're all coming back.
Jimmy, so I guess. Wait. So what's Jimmy's situation? This is the last year of his deal.
This is the last year of his deal, and
that's the one thing that I was kind of like,
He's going to be 30, but apparently Jimmy Butler and the Sixers are already expected to reach a deal on a long-term contract this summer.
Long-term, good. Okay.
But, by the way, no tampering at all. They just somehow know that Jimmy Butler is going to be able to sign that long-term deal. That's good.
Sorry, Brooklyn.
I think he made a really good point, though, that you guys kind of needed someone in the fourth quarter to go get that bucket other than just going into Embiid, because that is always a bit of a gamble. Now you've got two guys who can do that. Jimmy is fantastic in the fourth quarter. Question I got for you, all these guys are kind of guys that need to have the ball in their hands. Is there enough ball to go around between all these guys?
Yeah, because again, I think that with Ben isn't, he's not a score first type of guy. I mean, obviously he can manufacture his offense by getting to the hole, and he's so big and physical that
he's amazing.
6'10" with a 7-foot plus wingspan. Anytime a 6'5" guard is on him, he's going to back him down or get in the post somehow. But I think Ben is, he looks so much to generate offense with his passing and playmaking ability on that front that, I think, so at that point you're talking like Jimmy and Joel are the two that definitely need the offensive touches. I mean, obviously JJ gets his shots because he runs around like an Energizer bunny the entire game. I think there's plenty of ball around, and I know we touched on these guys just a few minutes ago. Like, if there's plenty of ball to go around between KD, Steph, and Klay Thompson, then your asses better figure out a freaking way to make there be enough ball to go around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You think you guys are the new favorite in the East?
Nah, I mean, we haven't played a game yet. I got to see him play. Yeah, I got to probably see at least a week to see what happens. Just because, this Raptors team, man, we played them and they are freaking tough. And I don't want to sleep on Brad Stevens. I don't want to just assume that one trade makes us better than what the system that he's got up there. I think the Bucks will come back a little bit. Personally, I know that they're off to a sizzling start. I just think that I think they'll come back. I think it will be the 3 seed at the least. And again, injury, you never know. But it's like I said, good way to start a Saturday.
Great way to start a Saturday.
Now, do you think he plays today? Because we play Memphis on a back-to-back.
I don't know.
I don't think
so either. I think he needs at least a day.
So this could be a tough game because obviously Dario and Rocco aren't playing, so we're gonna.
And you went to overtime last night.
And we went to overtime last night, so this could be. I wonder what the line is. I bet the Grizzlies are getting 10.
Unbelievable.
And one would think let's check that right now. Let's see what the line is.
Pull up that ESPN app.
Yeah, I got the ESPN app going. Welcome to the club.
Unbelievable.
NBA. There was one other thing I wanted to ask you about too, and now I can't remember. Oh, you know what? Interesting, actually. The Grizz are favored. They're favored, given the Sixers too. I wonder what it was 30 minutes ago. I wonder if that's moved.
That's a big thing. It's got to have swung. Because
the Sixers, and obviously coming off OT, but Sixers are 8-5. Grizzlies are 6-4. Better than I was expecting. But man, so I took the gamble though on the over/under and took Minnesota going over, thinking that they were going to kind of patch this thing together. I guess I'm going to be in a tough spot on that one.
Yeah, obviously losing Jimmy Butler is not exactly good for the over there.
No.
Maybe Cat will step up.
He should be, right? There was talk that he was going to be like the next best player in the world a few years ago, wasn't there? Or am I mean, obviously I know Anthony Davis, but I feel like he was supposed to be this like absolute stud, and he's kind of just been floundering, right?
He was. I mean, he's still super young. He still could get there, but yeah, everyone was saying he was going to be the next big thing. He's kind of fallen a little bit in love with the 3-point line a little bit, and it's like that. What are you doing? Like, you're humongous. Yeah. You completely dominate. That's like Joel Embiid going out and just shooting threes all the time.
And he does. Joel does go out and shoot. I mean, I don't know if you watched the end of the Sixers game last night, but we were down 5 with like a minute and a half to go because Kemba had just drained a killer 3.
Kemba's amazing, by the way.
Kemba, dude, like me and my friends in the Philly, my Philly area friends last night were in a group text, like, you know. Kemba is a guy that I would love to have on my team.
Can we trade him to like a good team so we can watch him?
Oh my God, seriously, I'd love watching him play.
Yeah, I like him too.
He's cold-blooded. Like, no, he's not afraid of a moment. Obviously, he showed that in college.
Yeah. He's just awesome. I would love to go to battle with Kemba.
Yeah, but he hits this standard like drive hard, like hard crossover back to his left, step back 3. To go up 5 with about a minute and a half to go, and I'm kind of like, oh my God, that's it. Then, we feed Joel in the post, he hits 2 free throws, we're down 3, we make a big stop, and then Joel just gets the ball at the top of the key, Kemba draped all over him. I mean, obviously he's way taller than Kemba, and just buries this 3 to tie the game.
Huge.
And there was like 20 seconds left or something like that. But, I mean, Joel will get the 3, but he's not, and he got a little infatuated with the 3 last year, but, again, I haven't really seen Karl Anthony Towns play, but I always just kind of wonder why these. I mean, I get it; it's this day and age in the NBA, like 3-ball is king. But and I know the post, it's not as valuable as a 3-ball. But shit, man, if you're 7 foot and you get someone back down and you're a foot from the glass, I like an easy 2 points too.
And he's a beast down there, and he's just got to get it together. I think the Jimmy situation has just been terrible for him. Obviously, that team is super unhappy and kind of miserable. So yeah, maybe this will be good for him. We'll see. I know Andrew Wiggins is happy.
Yeah, what's been his story? Because again, like Minnesota, I feel like I know that obviously coming out, both of them are highly touted, and I haven't really seen many games. He hasn't really lived up to the hype either.
No, he had a crazy amount of hype. I think it was honestly too much. Like, even at Kansas, he wasn't tearing it up. And the big thing with him was everyone was like, all right, his offensive game will come along, but he's got the defense. And he just hasn't been quite as good defensively as a lot of people thought. But the T-Wolves right now just had a miserable road trip. I think they've lost like 5 in a row. Jimmy's taking nights off. It was just a mess.
So guess what? They're going to go in tank mode, and they're going to go join the Zion Williamson sweepstakes.
Can you imagine get him?
Did you watch that game?
I did.
I didn't watch the whole game, but I just watched. I watched the first half, I think. Good Lord.
Scary.
I mean, and I've been following that kid since he was like a sophomore in high school because like the dunk videos pop up in some type of trending thing, and I watch. I'm like, whoa, who is this kid? I'm like, what college is he going to next year? Oh, he's only a sophomore in high school. Wonderful.
He's amazing, and just having the name Zion is like a huge step up. Like,
no, big time.
You're not going to be bad if your name is Zion.
The return to Zion. A la the Matrix. Dude, they were showing his height and weight. I'm sure you saw. Like, he weighs 3 more pounds than Aaron Judge, and he's bigger than LeBron, and he's 19 years old.
It's insane. These guys just come along like once every 20 years. They're just insane bodies.
Just freaks. Dude, he has a 45-inch vertical leap. They said he weighs 285, he's 6'7", and he has a 45-inch vertical leap.
That's normal.
He honestly almost it's probably not too far of a stretch to think that he maybe could jump up and like hang off the top of the backboard.
Insane. Now he's going to be a beast. It's going to be Duke's just going to tear it up.
Oh my God,
they're so stacked.
I mean, they got to win. They got to be the clear outright favorite to win that NCAA title, right?
1,000%. You got probably the best coach and all the talent in the world. Like, they got to be number one. They're gonna just run through everybody.
And they have another dude. I forget what his name was. Because I think Zion dropped like 28. Like the other guy,
R.J. Barrett. He's really good.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, he might even be better. He might even be better.
He's crazy athletic.
Well, I don't know how they got both these guys, but Duke is going to be nice this year.
So I hate Duke too. I'm a UNC just diehard. And
I know that's your team, MJ.
MJ, baby, let's go.
MJ. Maybe I'll be a Michigan fan now because of Karras.
Karis LeVert. Hey, Michigan's jump man.
Jump man. Last question on the Jimmy Butler here. So we mentioned that he's going to likely lock up that long-term deal. Are you worried at all about the back end of that contract?
I mean, it depends on how many years he signs for. I'd imagine it's like a 4-5 year thing.
Probably 5.
Yeah, it could get a little suspect. Hopefully at that point we've won a few NBA championships, so our financial situation won't. I mean, obviously it's like predicated on a lot of things, but hopefully we'll be in a position where it's just like, if we're hit with the luxury tax, it is what it is. But
it'd be hilarious if Jimmy and Joel Embiid just butt heads and it's like a complete disaster, and then he's just like stuck there for 3 more years.
Oh my God, yeah, that'd be great. That would be wonderful. The process, like that would. Well, I mean, that would happen to Philly too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
In my lifetime, 2 championships, and for the most part, just utter disappointment and just terrible football, terrible baseball, terrible basketball.
It's too bad.
Hockey, we've always been like solid, but we could never get over the hump. But that would be just a fitting ending to all of this, that we suffered through the process. We got everything in place, and then it blew up in our faces.
Yeah, pretty much. So, end of the day, thumbs up, thumbs down to this trade.
Yeah, I'm giving 2 thumbs up.
All right.
We had to make the move. If it presented itself, we had to do it. And like I said, you look at what we gave up to what we got.
Relatively on the cheap,
Relatively on the cheap. Yeah, I mean, like a second rounder and 2. Secondary complementary players. Obviously, they're in our starting rotation, but replaceable. Yeah, I got to give it 2 thumbs up. I'm ready. I'm ready for this, man. It'll be an interesting game today, but I'll be excited to see how Jimmy slides into the fold and what type of dynamic that brings. I mean, again, he plays hard, crazy talented. Time to show us what you got, man.
This is it. He's on the team, the super team here in Philly. Time to actually show that you can go win a championship and not just be all talk. So, yeah, I'm excited. I think the Eastern Conference just got a whole lot better. Things may be shifting towards the East. The top of the East is getting better. And it should be a good Eastern Conference Finals wherever we end up. So
it should be, yeah. Between those 4 teams, I'd say obviously Golden State dominates all of them. However, you got to think the depth of those 4 teams is probably better than the depth of the top 4 teams in the West at this point. Potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously up for debate, but, in years past where you're talking that the 10th or the 11th seed in the West would have made the playoffs in the East. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I think
top they're starting to bounce out.
It's just the Warriors in the West, and then everybody else is kind of lumped together. I don't even know who the clear number 2 team in the West is right now, to be honest. They're all kind of even to me.
Yeah, what does it got to be, like the Jazz at this point, maybe?
I guess, but
the Nuggets? Who's hot? No, the Nuggets, I guess, right?
The Nuggets have been hot, but I don't know if you heard, but Karis LeVert just knocked them off in Denver last night.
That was big time. Mile high.
Denver's good, but I don't think they're great. I don't think they're going to make that much noise in the playoffs this year.
I agree.
They're super young.
I agree.
Portland has actually been playing really well again.
I took them for the over.
Yeah, you were right on that one. We'll see. I thought they were going to be trading McCollum or Dame or somebody, but they, that backcourt stuck together. We all kind of maybe overreacted to that playoff series sweep against the Pelicans last year because, what were they, the number 2 team in the West? They were number 3 in the West last year. They're right back up there again. They're a great regular season team. They kept everybody together, so they got a lot of good chemistry. It's a good feel around the Blazers right now. Hopefully they don't make a trade and they just keep riding with it.
Keep riding with it, man. They, now at this point, we're not quite a month in, but we're getting there. We're close to a month in.
Yeah.
And they are playing well. They're gelling well. Their owner passed away. Maybe this is the season dedicated to him.
Yeah. No, they've been great. And Dame Lillard, sneaky MVP candidate.
Dude, but he does it all the time. Like, obviously Steph gets all the love, but Dame, he can drill him from just as far as Steph, man.
Yep.
Maybe he's not as consistent as Steph. Obviously, Steph's greatest 3-point shooter in the history of the league, but Dame is an instant offense type of guy as well.
And I don't
from
know
anywhere on the court.
I've seen Dame's like workouts. Like he's one of those guys who like works out harder than anybody. Like every year he just continues to get better. And everyone kind of sleeps on him because he's in Portland, but he's an amazing player. Love Dame.
Shout out Dame.
That's where Karras is headed, though. Same kind of direction, same path.
That's it, dude. When is your jersey? Do you have your jersey yet? What's up, dude?
The mail here is just no good. It's unbelievable. I think they may have brought it to the wrong apartment. I gotta go get it. I'll go take care of that today. Did you get your Jimmy jersey yet?
You did just move recently, so maybe they just sent it to the old spot by accident.
They might have.
USPS. Let's get on here. Didn't get Jimmy jersey yet, but we'll see. I've got a couple Sixers T-shirts. One is it's a big Benjamin Franklin caricature with the Sixers shirt on, so that's like my Big Ben shirt for obviously Ben Frank and Ben Simmons. But I don't know if I ever owned a Sixers jersey. The only basketball jerseys I ever owned were Jordan jerseys.
Wow. No Kobe. No Kobe.
No Kobe. Think about this though. I'll say I covered almost everything for Jordan. I had a white Jordan. Oh, I still have it. I have a white Jordan 45 jersey, Bulls.
That's cool.
I have a black Bulls 23 for Jordan. I've had 2 UNC jerseys, one teal, one white.
I've seen those.
I've had a USA jersey. Dude, I even got a 45 or 23 Wizards jersey.
Whoa, I had one of the 23 Wizards jerseys. Not a good look.
Not a good look at all. So yeah, like I said, my only basketball jerseys at this point have been MJ's, which I probably should have gotten an Iverson at one point, but
yeah, he was pretty good.
Speaking of Iverson, dude, Reebok is releasing a new Iverson shoe. Holy smokes!
Looks good.
I'm definitely getting it. It's kind of like a combo of like the question and the answer. Like you remember those, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a combo of the two. It looks really sweet. I'll have to send you a link to it.
Good for AI, still being relevant.
Still being relevant. He's just waiting to 55 so he can get his trust fund. So he can get access to his millions.
It's unbelievable.
And then he'll blow it instantly.
Yep. Hopefully not.
He's going right to Vegas.
Oh my God. He's gonna go over on Philly now. Smart.
Yep.
All right, dude. Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Big trade for you.
Brooklyn's coming. Come on now.
Dude, we're in the playoffs right now. We might see you. Go get that 1 seed. Maybe we'll see you in the first round.
That would be a fun one. We'd have to go. I'd have to fly back east for one of those games.
Oh, my God. 100%. And tomorrow, just another quick shout-out. Liebner and Solly. Enjoy that Bills-Jets game. No Darnold. Should be good.
Dumpster fire. Waiting to happen. The Dumpster Fire Bowl.
How funny is it that Liebner saw an actual dumpster fire?
The best.
I couldn't believe that. I was dying.
So just for the listeners, our friend Chris Liebs, who we call Chris Liebner, he's from Corning, but is Buffalo fan. We always shout him out as the Bills having the dumpster fire. He sent us a text yesterday. He and his wife had gone out to get some food for dinner, and when they came back to their apartment building, it was like totally blocked off with fire engines and police officers and the like, and they go into the building to find out that there was an actual dumpster fire in the parking garage of their apartment building. So karma, it's fitting.
It's unbelievul.
The dumpsters are following all the Buffalo Bills fans.
I think there's a 92% chance that Solly set that dumpster fire.
Yeah. He put out the hit.
He definitely put out the hit. It's like such a solid move. Let's go, Buffalo.
Let's go, Buffalo.
We'll talk to you this week. We'll see how the Jimmy deal goes down. And good luck to your Eagles against those struggling Cowboys. It should be a tough one.
Cowgirls.
The Cowgirls. Kobe.
TTP.